Hi, I'm Paul Battaglia, and this is section 7.5, Systems of Inequalities. Before we talk about systems of inequalities, I actually like to go over with my students just a linear inequality in general. It's been a while since they've seen that, and they might forget that the process of graphing a linear inequality actually involves some shading since we're dealing with a large solution set. And so for that reason, as we progress to systems of inequalities, I think we need some type of an activity to help students out. And I'm joined by Gabe and Brittany. Gabe, you have a great activity you like to show students, right?
Yeah, so the book does a great job of explaining how to find which region to shade, but I like to give my students sort of a shortcut to figure out which region to shade. So what I like to have my students do is I like to have them create a note card or on a small sheet of paper. Just take a look at what I'm going to do here. Yeah. So at the top of their note card, I like to have them write down y is less than. And we'll see why here in a few seconds. At the bottom of the note card, I'll have them write down y is greater than. On the left side of the note card, I like to have them write down x is greater than. And on the right side of the note card, I have them write down x is less than. So how do they use this note card? All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at this inequality right here. We have x is greater than or equal to y plus 1. So the first thing we do is we go ahead and we replace the inequality with an equal sign. And I have students graph x is equal to y plus 1.
So just like they always have.
So a lot of them might not be comfortable graphing that the way it is, so they'll subtract 1 from both sides of the equation. And they'll see this graph here. And I like to mention to them, since it's a greater than or equal to symbol, well, they want to draw the solid line instead of the dashed line. So now how do they use this note card? Well, since we're looking at an x is greater than or equal to, they go ahead and they look at their note card and they see here we have x is greater than. So really, if you want, you can have them write on the note card x is greater than, comma, greater than or equal to. It doesn't matter. So what they do is they take this part of their note card and they set it on their line. So what this shows is this actually shows them which region they need to shade. So they shade the region that the note card's covering. So what they would do is they would just place this note card on their sheet of paper, say, oh, that's the region that I need to shade. They grab a marker or a colored pencil, and they would just shade in this region.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, Brittany, do you see anything from students that helps them in class with this kind of thing? Or anything extra that you'll have them do, or even things to watch out for?
So with this, if we have more than one inequality, we can use the different colors to shade in each area, and then where they intersect, the colors intersect, we can actually say that's the solution.
Absolutely, that's a great idea. How about any common errors or mistakes that you see students make sometimes when they're maybe even just kind of like being lazy with certain things?
As Gabe mentioned, he was using the solid line instead of the dotted line. And a lot of students always want to put the solid line. So I say, always use a pencil and always make sure to double check to make that you don't need a dotted line.
Yeah, that's a silly mistake to make, and it's so easy to fix.
Absolutely, totally agree. And you may be wondering, how can I show my students where this is applicable in real life? And as a matter of fact, there are some economics examples we have in the text which are really good. I actually had a former student of mine talk to me about an economics class that she was in, and one of the questions she was unsure about is the idea of consumer and producer surplus, and it was a direct relationship to working with a system of inequality. So just goes to show you that it's going to endure a little bit and you're going to see it again in that kind of domain. I hope these tips have been helpful for you and that you have much success in section 7.5.